Good evening, and welcome to the public hearing on behalf of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. My name is Samantha Sims. I am the designated hearing officer for these proceedings. The role of the hearing officer is limited to ensuring an orderly hearing so that an accurate record of this hearing may be developed for the department's evaluation. I do not make any decisions regarding these proposed permit actions. On behalf of the department, we appreciate your participation in tonight's hearing for the proposed renewal of Title V Major Source Operating Permit number 503-3013 for Plains Marketing LP Mobile Terminal, located at 1821 Hess Road, Mobile, Alabama 36610. The department would also like to thank the Chickasaw High School principal, Arnold Cox Sr., for allowing us to use this facility for the hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to provide the public with an opportunity to present oral testimony on the proposed permit renewal. In addition to oral testimony, the department will also consider all written comments submitted before the close of the public comment period. The department has requested your comments, and we appreciate you taking the time to make them known to us. On January 26, 2021, notice of the date, time, place, and purpose of this hearing was posted on the department's website. In addition, the department sent notice of this hearing by email to individuals and organizations who had previously requested advance notice of permit proceedings. A copy of the notice and the email distribution list will be entered into the record of these proceedings. Copies of the public notice, permit application, and draft permit have been made available for inspection by the public at the office of the department at 1400 Coliseum Boulevard in Montgomery, as well as the department's website. The hearing is open to the public, and anyone wishing to present oral testimony or submit a written statement may do so. All testimony and written comments should be as factual as possible and should address the subject of this hearing. Lengthy statements or those containing considerable technical or other complex data should be submitted in writing. Summaries of such statements may be presented orally. This hearing is an opportunity for members of the public to offer comments to help ensure that all relevant factors are considered before a final permit decision is made. Please be advised that the department is limited in the factors it can consider when making a permitting decision and must base the determinations only on whether the permit applicant has satisfied those requirements of applicable environmental statutes and regulations granted to ADEM by the legislature. Persons giving testimony may be questioned by the hearing officer or other department staff to clarify points and to develop a better understanding of what is being presented. This proceeding is not an open forum as in a question and answer session. This hearing is an opportunity for you to submit comments that you wish the department to consider in the final review of the permit application. However, you may pose a comment in the form of a question, which will be compiled and addressed by the department in its complete response to the comments. In addition to oral testimony, written comments may be submitted on the proposed permit renewal. You do not have to make an oral statement tonight in order to have your written comments considered by the department. Written statements may be submitted to the hearing officer tonight or delivered to the department in Montgomery as directed in the public notice for this hearing. All written statements previously submitted and those received by the department before the end of the public comment period will be included in the hearing record. It is important to note that written comments submitted through postal or electronic mail are given the same consideration as those that are presented in person at this hearing. All oral and written testimony will be included in the hearing record. After giving full consideration to the hearing record, the department will make its final decision on the proposed permit action and develop responses to comments for the proposed permit. The hearing record, final permit determination, and responses to comments will be posted to the department's e-file system. This hearing is being captured by a court reporter to develop a transcript of this hearing for review by the department. In addition, the entire proceeding is being recorded on video to be posted on the department's YouTube channel to make it accessible to the public. Please be aware that the department has positioned the video camera to minimize the chance of members of the public from appearing on camera while they are presenting their testimony. Now let us move on to the purpose of this hearing, the receipt of public comments. The order of appearance of persons giving testimony will be as follows. First, a representative of the department's Air Division. Then any elected officials or representatives who have registered to speak. All remaining members of the public will be heard in the order in which they registered during the pre-registration offered online or by phone, and then those that registered on site at this hearing. Now I will recognize Ms. Rachel Kilpatrick to present a statement on behalf of the department's Air Division.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Kilpatrick and I'm with the Air Division of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. I'm here to present a statement on behalf of the department concerning the proposed renewal of Plains Marketing LP's Major Source Operating Permit number 503-3013. The department exercises authority under the Alabama Air Pollution Control Act and the Alabama Environmental Management Act to administer and enforce Alabama's air pollution control regulations. The department also has the authority to implement federal air pollution control regulations. The department is proposing to issue a renewal of Plains Marketing LP's Major Source Operating Permit number 503-3013. Plains Marketing LP's Mobile Terminal is a facility that stores and transfers petroleum products. The facility is currently classified as a major source for criteria pollutants. The facility has emission sources that are subject to national emission standards for hazardous air pollutants and new source performance standards for air emissions. The facility storage tanks utilize floating roofs to meet all federal and state regulatory requirements. The last emission source constructed at the facility was a 74 horsepower diesel-fired stormwater engine in March 2014. This proposed permit does not authorize any increased air emissions or the construction of new emission sources. It is intended to codify all air pollution control requirements which apply to the facility. A major source operating permit is intended to consolidate existing air pollution control requirements and does not authorize new sources of pollution or increases in emissions from existing sources. Compliance with the requirements of this permit will not result in violations of applicable air quality standards that were designed to protect human health and the environment. Before a decision is made on whether Major Source Operating Permit number 503-3013 is to be issued, the department will review and respond as necessary to the written comments received during the public comment period and comments submitted during this hearing. Thank you.
And we do not have any elected officials that have registered to speak. So now I would like to recognize Ashley Sweeney to present a statement on behalf of Plains Marketing.
Plains Marketing would like to thank ADEM for the opportunity to speak to you today. Plains has been a proud member of the Mobile community since 2003, and the Mobile terminal itself has operated in its location for almost 70 years. The Mobile terminal is an important part of our nation's energy infrastructure. Product moving through the Mobile terminal goes to several area refineries in both Mississippi and Alabama. Gasoline and other products produced by these refineries is used throughout the state. We take pride in being a part of the community and give back where possible. Over the years, we've spent more than $100,000 on projects with an impact on the Africatown community. This includes purchasing computers, books, and other supplies for the Mobile County Training School and contributing funds to renovate their ball field. We've donated to the local chapter of the American Kidney Foundation, and we're members of the Chamber of Commerce and other local organizations. We employ 45 Alabama residents in connection with the Mobile terminal and pay approximately $2 million a year in annual property taxes to Mobile County. Customers of the Mobile terminal pay approximately $3 million per year in port fees alone. Plains believes the renewal of the Major Source Operating Permit number 503-3013 should be granted by ADEM. The renewal application was timely submitted and is only requesting that we continue our current operations. There will be no increase of emissions or expansion of the facility under this renewal. In fact, no new emission sources have been constructed at the site at the facility for the last 7 years. Plains has worked closely with ADEM over the years and values its relationship with the agency. We are committed to maintaining compliance with the conditions of the air permit and air quality regulations. We are a proud member of this community, and we look forward to the opportunity to continue to serve the community for years to come. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we will now proceed to the receipt of comment from members of the public. As indicated in the public notice for this hearing, oral testimony for each registered speaker is limited to 7 minutes. If anyone has prepared a statement that cannot be presented in a 7-minute time frame, please use your time for oral testimony to summarize your comments and submit your full statement to the department in writing for placement in the record. Okay, first I would like to recognize Ramsey Sprague. If you wouldn't mind, please clearly restate your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent, and make sure you speak loud and clearly so that an accurate record of your testimony can be recorded.
Good evening. I'm Ramsey Sprague. I reside at 63 South Fulton Street in Mobile, Alabama, 36606. I speak as president of the Mobile Environmental Justice Action Coalition.
It's been a long time.
MEJAC, as it is called, was founded by residents of the historic Africatown community in 2013 in partnership with regional advocates to address environmental racism throughout Mobile County. I'm also speaking today as chair of the Mobile, Alabama NAACP Environmental and Climate Justice Committee. Environmental racism is an everyday occurrence in the part of Mobile County affected by the Plains Marketing LP facility seeking draft permit number 503-3013. Plains Marketing Tank Farm is located in the Magazine Point neighborhood of historic Africatown as defined by the City of Mobile's Africatown Neighborhood Plan. In fact, it sits on the spot considered the neighborhood's namesake, Magazine Point. While federal census tract data would suggest the neighboring community contains a significant number of non-African American residents, I assure you that this is just a function of oddly drawn census tracts. Africatown is like 99% African American. The EJ Screen GIS tool hosted by EPA also puts it among the highest percentiles when considering the defining criteria of federal environmental justice communities of concern. The consideration of environmental justice in Title V Clean Air Act permits is required by Executive Order 12898, or EO 12898. EJ, or environmental justice, is defined by the EPA as the fair treatment and meaningful involvement of all people, regardless of race, color, national origin, or income, with respect to the development, implementation, and enforcement of environmental laws, regulations, and policies. That goal, EPA says, will be achieved when everyone enjoys the same degree of protection from environmental and health hazards and equal access to the decision-making process to have a healthy environment in which to live, learn, and work. That vision is where the execution of ADEM's permitting authority should be leading communities like Africatown in draft permit processes like this one. However, it has not been our experience. ADEM must reckon with the extent to which state law curtails or bars ADEM's ability to address environmental justice, including disparate impact. Without doing so, ADEM's Title V permitting program is at risk of being inconsistent with applicable federal law. ADEM's mission is impossible to achieve without addressing environmental justice concerns before it makes decisions. The pursuit of environmental justice demands that the permitting and regulatory sins of the past must not be repeated in the future. Meaningful involvement from the communities who will be most affected by ADEM's decisions begins with the disclosure of specific information that is coherent to a wide audience. In the instance of this draft permit, the communication should include what and how much Plains is emitting, how emissions will be controlled and monitored to protect health and the environment, and how a publicly accessible compliance record will be maintained. All requirements in the draft permits must be particular enough for enforcement, rather than leaving it to the director or permittee discretion. The purpose of EO 12898 is to focus federal attention on the environmental and human health effects of federal actions on minority and low-income populations with the goal of achieving environmental protection for all communities. EPA will ultimately review whatever permit is proposed by ADEM, and therefore it is incumbent upon ADEM to focus their attention on the environmental and human health effects of their actions on minority and low-income populations. We know that EO 12898 does not impose enforceable duties or responsibilities that are distinct from other regulations. However, in a 2012 partial grant to a petition to object, EPA acknowledged that because, quote, the immediate area around the permitted facility is home to a high density of low-income and minority populations and a concentration of industrial activity. Thus, focused attention to the adequacy of monitoring and other compliance assurance provisions is warranted in this context. Such focused attention is also required in this case, in light of the environmental justice concerns and the abuses of governmental power that have obscured the voices and interests of the people most affected by Plains marketing. Residents of Mobile County will be exposed to air pollution from Plains marketing. ADEM has not adequately considered public health impacts. Where residents who are minority populations have not had their health adequately protected by this permitting, a disparate impact exists that requires ADEM to consider the environmental justice impacts of the draft permit. This is the case in Mobile County, evidenced by the recent lawsuit against International Paper over that company's polluting activities, among other things. The sheer amount of polluting industry located in this area demonstrates the lack of regard that ADEM has shown for the health of the minority and low-income residents who live there. In order for EPA to meet its obligation of focused attention to the adequacy of monitoring and other compliance provisions, ADEM must consider the same factors as EPA, including environmental justice. There are several deficiencies with the general conditions of this permit which must be corrected by ADEM. Additionally, the compliance status of the source is unclear, and that hinders our agency's abilities to determine whether or not and which certain conditions addressing compliance are needed. ADEM also failed to show Plains Marketing is entitled to a permit shield. And absent such a showing by the source and ADEM, a permit shield must not be included in the final permit. Finally, and to reiterate, ADEM should consider the environmental justice impacts of the source and others in and around Africatown and Chickasaw in their permitting decisions. We appreciate the opportunity to comment, and we must say in conclusion that despite how the pandemic has affected all aspects of everyone's lives, the imperative and urgency for environmental justice in Alabama has not ceased, and it is absolutely intolerable that remote participation is not facilitated by ADEM for participation by people in real time in these proceedings. We appreciate you taking the time to hear our concerns. We submitted our other concerns in writing on October 20th, I believe, 2020. A while ago, and they are exhaustive in detail. We appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Just a second.
It's only partial.
That's fine.
I can actually email you the whole thing.
Okay, why don't you do that? Let me write mine.
Okay.
Right here?
Sure. My printer only printed off the first paper, the first page.
Sounds
Is this
like
live? Am I
mine.
still live?
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good afternoon. Or
You
evening,
too.
whatever's left of the day. This is, I'm sorry, SNIMMS.
SNIMMER@bellsouth.net. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to recognize David Rogers.
Stand right here? Okay.
Yeah, if you would stand right there and please restate your name.
Yeah, can I take this off?
You sure can. You can take it off to speak. Also, say the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
Absolutely.
And make sure you speak loud and clearly so an accurate record of your testimony can be recorded.
Absolutely. So thank you for your time tonight. My name is David Rogers. I serve as the Vice President of Economic Development for the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. We are the lead economic development agency for the city and the county of Mobile. So we're contracted by them to recruit industry, to retain jobs, recruit jobs, and recruit investment to our community. We've had a very strong success in our community of recruitment of industries that are located that have created high-paying jobs that have helped the citizens of Mobile, and that is what our mission is. So we are fortunate that the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce is represented by over 2,000 businesses in our area that represent the voice of business for our community. And tonight I am here and speaking on behalf of the positive impact that Plains has had on the Mobile community. We are in support of the renewal of this Title V air source permit. We do feel like through the evidence and that has been shown by Plains that they are very thorough in what their operations here in the downtown area of Mobile and what they can do to create jobs and investment in this community. They support hundreds of thousands of jobs that are related to the port aspects, whether it be trucking, whether it be port operations, barging activities, a number of activities that are right here in the Mobile area that are helping our citizens. They are helping create opportunities for folks to come out of poverty and create high-paying jobs that are helping them and their families achieve financial goals that they need. Again, we do feel like Plains has shown a very corporate citizenship in this community, has been a leader in many nonprofits of what has happened to be positive in their growth and their development, and have answered the call to be environmental stewards of this community. So we feel very positive in what they have done and are happy to be in support of them and be pro-business as we're trying to move forward the growth of the Mobile area, especially as it relates to our port area in downtown Mobile.
Pause just in case someone else comes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, at this time, we're going to take a short break. Since there are no more registered speakers, please be advised that unless otherwise notified, the public comment period will end at 5 p.m. on March the 4th, 2021. All comments must be received at the office of the department in Montgomery by that time. After consideration of all oral and written comments, the department will make its determination regarding the proposed permit renewal and prepare responses to all relevant comments received. Thank you for your participation this evening. This hearing is adjourned.